Oh, hey there. I bet you guys have been wondering where I've been. It's been half a minute since I've made a video. Um, do you know how sometimes life, punches you in the face, just square in the jaw, and then runs you over with a train for good measure? That. It's some really personal stuff that I don't really want to get into on the interwebs. But the worst of it is gone, and now we're just moving forward. So I gave myself until October, so today, to get back into making videos. And I had this great plan where I was going to come back with a huge, epic video about how the Galapagos Islands formed, and it was going to involve science experiments in my kitchen. And I'll probably still do that video because I think it'd be really fun. But I think I just need to get back into doing these. Without further ado, hey team, I'm Maddie. Welcome to ScienceSideUp, and today we're going to talk about pair production. This one is actually a shout out to MacPig. Thanks to that Discord hangout we did, oh my gosh, almost a month ago now, and you asked me about how can something come from nothing, and pair production. Okay, so this video is titled Twinsies because when you get pair production, you end up with particles that are, think of them as equal and opposite of each other. Pair production produces a particle and then its corresponding antimatter particle from a single photon. So you have a photon, which is just energy. It has no mass, and it splits into two things that have mass. So we're going to talk about how that happens, and we're going to talk about the most common form, which is electron-positron pairs. Okay, so pair production always starts with a photon. Photons will be purple. And I drew it like a squiggly wave, but that's my photon. So this is energy, right? Things photons have, right? Photons have energy and momentum. They do not have mass, but we can turn energy into mass by Einstein's equation. So because they have energy, we can turn that energy into mass. Okay, and then there's a few things that we have to conserve through this interaction. Sure, yeah. So we have to conserve what's in blue. We have to conserve energy. We've got to conserve momentum. Now, conserving energy, mass in this example is a form of energy. So the net energy of the photon will go into the mass of the two particles, plus their kinetic energy as they're moving away. So that's how we'll conserve energy. We also have to conserve what's called spin. And this conservation of spin is going to be why we have the antimatter particle. So on a basic level, matter and antimatter, those two things, what makes them different is that their spin, which is a nuclear term, their spin is opposite. Because everything else about them is the same. They have the same mass, and they have opposite charge, but a lot of things about them are the same. And I said charge, that's the other thing that we have to conserve. We have to conserve charge. So notice that a photon does not have charge, right? So because the photon doesn't have any charge, when it splits and turns into two particles, they have to have opposite charge, right? So we'll get a negatively charged particle and a positively charged particle, because one negative and one positive cancel each other out, and then the system has no net charge. So we get to conserve charge and the fact that the photon didn't have any charge. Okay, so one more note on the spin topic. So the spin, that's basically why you can't produce, say, an electron and a proton out of this, because those aren't opposite. We need an electron and a positron. Sorry, I just blinked on the name of a proton's. A proton has an antimatter particle, and I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. Cool. Okay, so what's going to happen? We have this photon, and our photon, for whatever reason, it has enough energy that it's unstable. And so it has so much energy that it would be in a more stable state if it could convert some of that energy into mass. Energy is all about finding the most stable thing and figuring out how to be lazy. So if if a system is in a high energy state, it's going to want to get into a lower energy state. Okay, so I'm going to redraw my photon. So our photon is traveling along, and it goes, I have too much energy. I really want to store some of this as mass. And so it does, and it's going to shift the camera as I talk. It's going to spit off in this direction an electron, and then over, make it a different color. Let's see, green. We can make the positron orange. Well, this will spit out a positron. So an electron and a positron, they have the same mass, but they have opposite charge. They have opposite spin. And then the net momentum of this system is going to be conserved. Now we'll probably still have a photon left over. So, maybe we get a new photon, but it's going to be much less energy, and so it'll be more stable. And honestly, that's kind of it. That's pair production in like 5 minutes or less. This is something that we observe to happen. You can observe it if you work at like CERN or other like particle colliders, or anything that deals with high energy photons. Yeah, so kind of a short video, but I think that's good. I'm going to get back into it. Some channel news. I have a couple interviews coming up. One is going to be with a good friend of mine that I work with, who studies hurricanes. So he deploys with radar trucks like I did to study tornadoes. He goes with the same radar trucks that drives all the way from Oklahoma to the East Coast, or wherever, whenever there's going to be a hurricane. And so he's going to come talk to us about that. So I get to learn how to do live streams on my own. Yeah. Okay. So you guys are cool. I'll see you soon. Like and subscribe. And if there's a topic you'd like to see me cover, hit me up in the comments, shoot me an email. All right. I'll see you guys later.